What's up everyone, Mitesh here, and it's been about 30 days since I put my SIM card into the Pixel 3a, and even though I have other more powerful phones I can switch to, my SIM card has stayed in this phone. So in this video, I'm going to do my full review of the Pixel 3a after 30 days and give you guys an idea of why this is probably going to stay my main phone for a while. And I have to start off this review by talking about the performance on this phone because I think that's the one thing that people have a lot of concern over. The Snapdragon 670 isn't the latest and greatest processor, and while the 4GB of RAM on this phone are the same as the Pixel 3, it's still worrying considering the performance from the Pixel 3 has been. But I'm going to tell you guys to just ignore the numbers. Ignore any preconceived notions that you guys might have about mid-range phones because they really don't equate to real world usage. In day-to-day stuff that I do on the phone, checking and posting on social media, replying to emails, web browsing, playing Pokemon Go, watching YouTube, I can't tell the difference between this and my OnePlus 6T in terms of performance. Now that's not to say that there isn't a difference. There is if I compare them side by side, but how many of you are going to be doing that every single day? What I think people need to know about this phone is that it can keep up with most things that you need to do. Unless you're someone who games very heavily on your phone or needs to switch between 3 to 4 apps rapidly because you run your business off of your phone, for those of you people, I think you should get a more powerful phone. Now, other than performance, there really aren't very many drawbacks to this phone. The place where most budget phones tend to fall apart is in the camera department, but this is a legit Pixel phone with a fantastic camera for photos. I did a whole video with a lot of sample video and photo you guys can check out up here, but here are some more photos that I took because I can't stop taking pictures with this phone. Pictures come out so good that I just want to keep taking more. It's really something that I haven't seen any other mid-range phone do well, so it's really good to see here. Now speaking of things that are great to see on a mid-range phone, we have the OLED display. This is a feature that's really hard to find on lower cost phones, and this screen is not only OLED, but it's actually a really good display too. The colors really pop off the screen, it's certified for HDR, and you can of course get those deep contrasts that only OLED screens can provide. The only complaint that I think I might have for the screen is the fact that it doesn't get super bright like the more expensive phones out there, but I can still see it in bright sunlight, but just barely. Now, along with that nice display, you get some pretty great dual speakers on this phone, and while they aren't both front-facing, they do sound good enough to where I'm not complaining about that. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on my phone, and this is a great phone for that. And not only that, there's a headphone jack. You know, in my first impressions video, I said I wasn't likely to use the headphone jack much, but I've actually used it much more than I thought I would, especially considering that I have a ton of Bluetooth headphones. Actually, since we're talking about Bluetooth headphones, the one thing I really missed since my Pixel 2 is my phone remembering the volume level for different Bluetooth devices, something that my OnePlus 6T just can't do. So when I'm going from my car Bluetooth to my in-ear headphones, the phone knows the volume that I had last on each of the devices. It's a small thing, but it's one of those things that annoys me about the Pixel 3 6T all the time. But this is the benefit of having more polished software that the Pixel runs. They don't have a ton of unnecessary features, they have things that I'm actually likely to use, and the key thing is they execute on them really well. Now, the software isn't perfect. In the first week that I had the phone, I kept getting a weird bug where my home button would just disappear. The only way to get it back was to double tap the power button to launch the camera, and then the home button would show up again. It was a weird bug, but it stopped happening, and I haven't had any other issues with the phone at all since then. And because this phone is stock Android, you are going to be missing some of the cool features that other OEMs have added, but considering that there's an app for almost every feature that's missing means that I don't mind sacrificing a few features for a more stable experience. Additionally, for someone who doesn't mind a little bit of unstableness in your software, this being a Pixel device, you can run the latest Android Q beta on it like I did. It's a little buggy, but it's working surprisingly well. And I will be making a separate video on all the new features in Android Q soon, so make sure you guys are subscribed and have notifications turned on so you guys don't miss that video. But to finish off this review, I gotta tell you guys, I'm really enjoying my Pixel 3a, and it's becoming my go-to recommendations for anyone who needs a new phone but doesn't want to spend $1,000 on it. There are definitely a ton of options for those of you, especially for those of you outside of North America, but if you're in the US specifically, this is a great option. Not only is it a great price, but it's an amazing phone. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Like this one if you liked it, subscribe if you guys loved it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!